We don't have a CEO in the business. Anurag, Sanay and I are co-founders and we don't have a CEO.
I started work in Chicago for United Airlines doing pricing and revenue management algorithms. And Richie started his MBA in Northwestern University, Kellogg School.
So I was playing around with ideas of I want to build something, and I was renting a spare bedroom that I had for a brief duration on Airbnb.
Richie and I had known each other for about 10 years at that time already. We were hostel mates in IIT Madras. At some point, his roommate was heading to an internship, so he had an empty room. And he goes, tries it out, and comes back the next week and says, yaar, it's very hard to figure out how much to charge.
Anurag was doing revenue management for airlines. And so I was like, if he's doing that there, why am I not doing it for my Airbnb, right? And so I spoke to Anurag and said, hey, we should do something for my Airbnb.
Richie was, of course, doing his MBA, so he was passionate about starting something. I was second year into my first job. I was like a reluctant participant at that time. Maybe we'll do something. But through another classmate of ours, we found Sana, who's our third co-founder. Richie and we can make things work, but we're not true software engineers. Sana is actually an engineer.
I met Anurag and Richie at Richie's apartment when he was at Northwestern. The idea of PriceLabs, I think that started at that place.
So PriceLabs is a dynamic pricing and revenue management company for the hospitality sector. We are the market leaders in short-term rentals, also called as vacation rentals. One thing we knew from start was that PriceLabs as a product would be global. We rolled out PriceLabs as a product for Chicago market in 2014. And as a fast follow, in 6 months, we had a product globally out there. We had customers not customers, at that time, free users from various countries around the world.
2016 is when we had about 1,000 homes already using it. Okay, we have been running this as a free tool for a while. Said, let's see if people will pay for this. Rolled out an announcement, and to our happy surprise, out of 1,000 listings, 300 continued using. At this point, we are still running this part-time.
Anurag and I have had multiple calls where we felt like if we hit 500 properties, then it's no longer a side project, right? And then we hit 500 properties and we're like, but if we hit 5,000 properties, then it's no longer a side project. But I think somewhere around early 2018-ish, right, is when you're very sure that someone needs to be full-time on the business. And we could only afford one person's salary at that time. So Anurag said, okay, I'm going to leave my job. I'm going to do this full-time. And then I think a year and a half later, Sana and I also said, okay, we're going to leave our jobs and just do this full-time. Personally, for me, I was working at another company and I had the option to be maybe president of their US business versus leave a well-established 4.5 year role and then jump full-time into rebuilding a business, right? And so that was a decision point, but I did that. 2 months into taking that decision, COVID happened.
By 2020, we were about 14 people.
And our revenues just precipitated.
Our thought was travel is going to come back eventually. Let's keep building. In fact, that ended up being one of our most productive times. So a lot of things that we thought we would start in 21, 22 got accelerated during this time. COVID impacted every travel segment quite a bit, but very surprisingly, it did not impact short-term rentals. People who would earlier travel to a large city were now going and finding a vacation home somewhere near a lake, near the ocean or whatever. And a bunch of our customers were in such locations. 2021 revenues for our customers were higher than 2019 revenues.
When I joined PriceLabs in 2020, I think what we did was, okay, hey, let's just be making people aware of how to use PriceLabs because the product is complex. It's at the cusp of economics, operations, and math.
Most our customers, I want to say, they enjoy the hosting part of it, the hospitality part of it. They may not be numbers people. What we have been able to do is help them use a fairly mathematical tool, but use it so that they don't get overwhelmed while still getting benefit of these quantitative tools.
We price close to 500,000 properties today, which is, I think, by far one of the largest software providers out there. And Roxana and I, we still speak as candidly as possible. We've become better friends over the years. That's not to say we have not had our fair share of fights, fair share of disagreements, but I think that's true for every relationship.
Each one of us does one part of PriceLabs. Like Anurag does product and data science, Richie does business operations, marketing, and I do pure engineering, right? So I think each one of us trusts the other really, really well.
We've had a goalpost, we achieve it, and then we move to the next goalpost and you achieve it, right? It isn't like when we got to 5,000 customers, we weren't happy. We were equally happy. We had helped out 5,000 people at that point, right? And then we said, oh, we can also get to 10,000. And when we got to 10,000, we were equally happy and we said, we can get to 50,000, right? And we've now gotten to, I think we're close to 60,000 users now. Still equally happy. Next goalpost is 100,000 users.